Suppose you were to write a language learning application like cloze, and you were to put together a parallel corpus with the Latin Bible and the English Bible. How would you go about selecting the cloze word for each verse? The simplest way to go about this is to just select a word at random to delete from the sentence for the front of the flashcard. Advantages: easy to program, and in the case where the second word of the sentence is deleted, you're going to get a lot of exposure to control words like autem, ergo, igitur, vero, and several other ones in Latin that express the conjunction between the current clause and the previous. It's also easy for beginners. You're going to select very frequent words when you're just selecting a word at random in the sentence. So, de, op, prepositions, post, propter, words that occur very frequently, unlike perhaps sophisticated deponents or plusquamperfect subjunctives or so on. So some advantages, some disadvantages. So good for beginners. It's not so good for advanced players who want to build a more advanced vocabulary. So what's another method of selecting the cloze word? You can go through all the verses before you actually select the cloze word, and you can tabulate the word frequencies just based on the corpus, not using any external source like a dictionary or so on, which would take into account all literature in the language. But very simply, just say, okay, well, this word is rare in the Latin Bible, probably rare in the language, so once I go through all the verses, I'm going to go back to the top and say, okay, in Genesis 1:1, which word is the rarest? I'm going to mark that, regardless of the index in the array, as the cloze word, and just delete that on the front of the flashcard. Now, what's one problem with this method? In some cases, it might be hard to tell whether the word is a proper noun or not. In some cases, yeah, you have capitalization. That makes it easy. Going to the case of the German language, however, all nouns are capitalized. You're going to have a tougher time. You might need an external resource like a dictionary, or you might want to start with some pre-calculated tabulations of word frequencies that you can consult. And maybe there's a third method. I'm not really sure. Some combination of the two. But yeah, in general, when you are preparing your data to play cloze deletion flashcards in an application, easiest way to program it is just select a cloze word at random. Don't think about it. And if you're a beginner, it's fine. Even if you're advanced, you're going to go so very quickly through the flashcards that the number of sentences to which you're exposed is actually pretty high. So maybe you do this in a new author or one book that, or actually maybe you do this in an author you don't like that much, but writes okay Latin. So you increase the volume of sentences to which you're exposed. Because maybe your skill in speaking, listening, reading, writing, and whatever in the language, maybe that all just depends on number of sentences that you understand, kind of understand, what people commonly call comprehensible input. I'm not convinced that it has to be totally comprehensible, but maybe just partially understood. We're going way beyond the scope of the video. So how do you select the cloze word? Okay solution is just random, but a better solution is to select the rarest word and accept that sometimes maybe you're going to consider a proper noun to be the rarest word. But as long as that happens less than 1% of the time, it's not a problem. The user experience is secondary to the user result.